So, long time no see. I almost contemplated just discontinuing the series because I didn't even want to go over part three even after I finished reading it. But I finished reading part three today, and it don't feel right to move on to part four and not give y'all an update. So I'm gonna try to do this in 30 minutes or less. And I don't really remember what happened at the beginning of part three, so I'm just gonna be skimming over each chapter, telling y'all what happened. Hopefully it makes sense. Hopefully everything connects by the end. And then by after this video, I might start on part four. Um, I found the audio on Spotify, and I think you have to have a premium subscription because mine says included with premium subscription because I have one. So I think you can only listen to it if you have a premium subscription. But either way, I really like the audio book. So I read it while listening, and yeah, it was really good. The narrator, the person who read the book, she was really good with voice acting. If you're able to, I recommend reading while listening to audio. So, I don't know. I think I'm gonna spare y'all the details because I really don't want to like look and try to figure out what's important or not. So all I could say is obviously Polly and Tank aren't on good Tank. Polly and Hank are not on good terms because of you know her keeping Tegan hostage. So in chapter 32, a police officer is at her door and he's asking Polly if she's seen Tegan. So I think he showed her a picture or something and she was like, "Oh yeah, no, I don't recognize her. I don't know." And so he offered to he asked if he could come in, but she was like, "No, could I just clean my carpet or something?" A lie, but she was like, "No, I'll just clean whatever." So he's like, "Okay, that's fine. Could I check around your house, like the backyard and stuff?" So she was like, "Yeah, go ahead, sure." So the cop checks her backyard. I don't know if he was like standing up above, like on top of something, and he was like on his radio or something. But Polly was watching him like while he was outside. Um, but nothing happened. The police didn't find. It was just one man. He didn't find anything. He just checked their backyard or whatever and left. So that was that. So the next two chapters, it was really pretty much just Polly doing more lying. Oh, the ambulance will be here soon, or oh, I'll call the cops, or oh, Tank is gonna take you. So it's just a bunch of stalling. That's pretty much what Polly's been doing this whole time is just stalling until the time came for her to take Tegan's baby. Like I said, well, I didn't say that, but Tegan still thinks that Hank is a bad guy, which is probably the most infuriating thing of this entire book, is that Tegan is so set on Hank being the bad guy that no matter what Polly does, she'll assume that Hank has something to do with it. So I think at one point Polly comes down and Tegan stabs her. Yeah, Hank was like, maybe I should go downstairs, throw her down to the basement, and get her food or do whatever Polly usually does. He wasn't planning on talking to her or nothing. So when Hank went down to the basement, I think she was like, Tegan's plan was to like threaten. I don't know what her plan was, but she said something to Hank because Hank wasn't listening to her. Like he genuinely went to the basement only to collect Tegan's food tray, and then he went right back up the stairs. So she's like begging for him to like listen, da 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 da. And I think she like threatens Polly or something, like threatens to do something to Polly. And Hank hears that and gets mad. So he's like, "Don't threaten my wife. Don't do that. Don't do that." And it just really makes me mad because I feel like had Hank like responded to Tegan the first time, she wouldn't have even said nothing about Polly, and that wouldn't have got her on his bad side. But he wasn't listening to her, so she said what she had to say to get his attention. But sadly, it was not the right attention. So yeah, now they're really on bad terms, and that whole little thing makes Tegan even more scared of Hank. But he had valid reason to get mad at her, but I just hate that could have went so much better had he listened to her when she was begging for help. Oh, one night Tegan attempts to get out of the bed and try to climb up the stairs, but that didn't work because her left foot hurts so bad. Like the slightest movement, literally, like that audio, that little Akira, and it's like the little flash bang audio. Like that's what I think of every time she mentions the pain, cause that's what she describes it as. Like freaking flash. So she tried to get out of bed and climb up the stairs. Didn't work. So she laid there. I think the next morning or something, Polly comes back down, and Tegan is so set on Hank being a bad guy. So she's like, yo, if he's hurting you, if he's doing something, we can get out of this together. You do not have to be against me on his behalf. Like, we can literally get out of this together. And Polly's just confused because she know that Hank isn't a violent man. So she never, like, every time Tegan tries to, like, mention abuse, Polly just looks at her like, what are you talking about? So here is where we get a new change. So here is where things start kind of going into effect. Polly's like, okay, we have to speed along this labor. We can't keep Tegan down here forever, so we got to speed up this labor so I can have this baby, or so Tegan can have this baby, so I can get the baby. So she looks up a midwife's brew, I think that's what it's called. And so she realizes that she doesn't have any of the ingredients dang there. So she went to the supermarket, which is like way out the way. Like they don't really live nowhere near nothing. So she had to drive. So she was scared that, you know, Tegan was going to escape by the time she went to the supermarket and came back. But she took the risk anyway. So she gets back home. And when she gets there, there's a man standing at her door. Not a cop, just a regular old man. Guess who it is? Wrong answer. Nah, it was, I don't know his name. Dennis. So it was Dennis, which is Tegan's brother. So he's there. I guess he's crying. I guess he's really in distress. He's asking, have you seen her? Have you seen her? Obviously, Polly lied. He went on about his way. During that whole time, Tegan was attempting to burn down the house. I don't know what her plan was, but she had her little lighter that Jackson gave her. I don't know if I mentioned this already in the last one, but she had a little lighter that Jackson gave her for her birthday, so it was like a little personalized, engraved with her name. So she had that lighter. She got like a magazine or some magazines and burnt them all in attempts to get the fire alarm going or something. But once, what's his name, Dennis left and Polly went down to the basement, that whole plan failed. Polly successfully took the little fire out. It wasn't even a big fire, for one. For two, I don't even think there was a smoke alarm down there. I think Tegan thought that there was a smoke alarm down there, but it wasn't. So I don't know what she's seen on the ceiling, or maybe it just didn't work, but that plan failed. So next little thing was that Sadie came back. Sadie is the little girl of the neighbor. So she came back. She came to their house because I guess she ran out of food. Girl, the food that she ran out of was crackers. She was feasting on crackers for 3 days. So she came for something to eat. Polly, obviously on edge about what just happened with the fire and everything. She didn't really want no guests, but you know how she felt about Sadie. So she let Sadie in, fixed her a sandwich. Sadie chomped it down. Then she fixed her another sandwich and gave it back to, gave it to Sadie. And during that time, Sadie asked for some Oreos. So Polly went in her pantry or cabinet or whatever. She went there to get the Oreos. And when she came back, I don't know if she found the Oreos, but when she came back, Sadie wasn't there. Sadie was at the basement. So Sadie, there's no locks on the basement, so I guess she went in the basement. But she didn't go down there far. Sadie, they said that she only stopped 3 steps from the top of the stairs, so she didn't go all the way down. But I'm assuming that, like, she could see something from where she was standing. Polly lied. Oh, I'm taking care of my cousin. She's sick. You can't go down here because you can't come down here because you're gonna get sick. And don't tell nobody because they're gonna want to come to see her and they'll get sick. You lucky Sadie is a little girl because that don't even make sense. I don't want to come see your little sick cousin because she's sick. I don't even know you. If little Sadie came up to me and was like, Polly's cousin is sick, I'm not finna travel to that secluded crib to go look at your cousin. I don't know them, I'm gonna send my prayers and go about my way. And they don't even know nobody. So who was Sadie gonna tell? Who was Sadie gonna tell? Anyways, the next time Polly comes downstairs, she helps Tegan into a wheelchair, and Tegan learns how to use it, blah, blah, blah. So Polly goes back upstairs and lets Tegan get a feel of the wheelchair. And so in that moment, Tegan's like, yo, I gotta get out of here. I gotta find a weapon. I gotta find something. So she searches the basement for weapons, couldn't find nothing. She goes in the bathroom, couldn't find nothing. I think she opens a drawer or something, and she eventually finds a bag of 2 syringes and a needle. Um, so she takes the needle. I'm gonna spare all the details, but she takes the needle, put it in a syringe, and I guess she hides it. So during that moment, Polly's upstairs making the midwife's brew. So she up there cooking it up, boom, boom, boom. So she comes downstairs. Polly, I guess, acts. I mean, Polly comes downstairs. Tegan's like acting like she's looking for a book to read or something. She's like just looking at the shelves. So Polly approaches her and gives her the mug of the stuff. I guess at this point, Tegan like realized that Polly might have been drugging her or whatever, so she was skeptical about the drink. So she told Polly to drink it first. So obviously it's just a labor thing. Like Polly's not pregnant, so it wouldn't be a big deal for her to drink it. So she went ahead and took a sip. So I think then eventually Tegan took a sip. She was like, okay, cool, cool, cool. Polly lied and was like, it's supposed to help with your pain, like some type of natural pain relief or something. So now after that, Tegan opens her mouth again and talks about, you have to take me to the hospital. I have to go to the hospital. And she still thinks Polly's a victim. So she's trying to reason with her. She's like, yo, I know that you're scared that if I get out of here, I'm going to snitch on you and Hank, but I promise I'm not going to tell him. There's a shelter, girls shelter or whatever, where we can go because you're being abused, even though she's not. So Tegan's really trying to get through to Polly, like, yo, just let me go. You can come with me. We can be free, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, Polly's still confused because what abuse? She's not being abused. So Polly's like, yo, I should go. I can't, maybe I should just leave. But Tegan's like, no, don't go, don't go, don't go. Sooner or later, you're going to have to let me go. Sooner or later, someone's going to find out that you're holding me hostage. So this is where Polly spills the beans. She says, not necessarily. Your brother came by earlier. And I told him that you weren't here. So that set Tegan off. I don't know if she still thinks Polly's the victim, but that sets Tegan off. And she pulls her closer and reveals the needle syringe concoction deal. Tegan doesn't end up stabbing Polly. Polly takes the syringe, or she tells her to drop the syringe, and then Polly takes it and she leaves. So by this point, even though Tegan didn't drink all of the brew, I think she drank enough to where she can go into labor now. So Polly wasn't tripping on that. Hank comes back from work. He's like, okay, is she gone? Is she still here? Blah, 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 blah. Polly's like, no, she's still here. Hank's like, yo, we gotta get her gone. I don't want her here no more. You're crazy. So he attempts to go down there and get her herself. She stops him in the front of the basement door. She's like, if you take her to the hospital, I'm gonna. So Hank was like, okay, well, you're just gonna come to the hospital with me. I don't know why that didn't work, but whatever it was, Polly threatened Hank. He was like, if you take her, or if you call the cops, or if you do anything, I'm gonna unalive myself. And they also, I don't know if I passed it up already, but this is where they reveal why she got fired from her nursing job. So like I said, they kept calling it the incident, but this is where they finally give us the details. So I guess, I forgot, but I guess she worked night shift or something in the daycare, wherever they keep the babies or something, I guess. So she had somebody's baby in her arms. She was like sitting on the little rocking chair or whatever, and she was just holding the baby. So I guess one of her coworkers was like, yo, Polly, it's time to go. Your shift's over. She don't say nothing. She's still rocking the baby. So they call people, yo, get Polly. Polly's still not budging. So they eventually call Hank, and I think Hank finally gets her to put the baby down. And she turns in her resignation letter or something. And she got sent to the psych ward. Oh, no. I skipped it. She turned that in, or once she gave up the baby or something, whenever she did it. But she went into the bathroom at the hospital, and she took, I don't know, maybe not a bathroom, wherever we were at. She took a bunch of medicine out the medicine cabinet and just took all of it. So I don't know if this was at the hospital. That would make sense. Could they have medicine and she probably has access to it? I guess she tried to OD. It failed. She got sent to the psych ward, and that was that. So obviously that took her off the list, her and her husband off the list to like foster care and adopt babies and all that. So I guess eventually Polly goes into the basement. I don't know if she goes in right after Hank leaves or So yeah, Polly comes down the stairs. She helps Tegan back into bed because she was in a wheelchair. So they have a little dialogue. And I guess Tegan had a contraction, so the brew is happening to work. It happens to work. It happens to be working. So Tegan has a little contraction, and she's pretty sure that it wasn't a Braxton Hicks. So yeah, so she's asking, or no, so Tegan spills the beans. She's like, I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have a husband. Nobody cares about me. My parents are dead. Blah blah blah. So she's trying to convince Polly that she has nothing going for her. So it's just her and her baby. Like, she not really trying to snitch on y'all. So she's like, well, why did your brother come over? Tegan's like, well, he just felt bad about, I guess, not caring about me. I don't know. Whatever that stupid excuse, whatever her stupid excuse little story was, but whatever. So she like, you will help me? Polly's like, yeah, I'll help you, and then she left. So I don't know why the flip Tegan keeps trusting Polly at this point, but she genuinely feels like Polly is just an angel on earth. I don't know, bro. I don't know. The last chapter, we finally made it to the end. Ugh. So here is the last part of the last piece of part 3. So it's nighttime. They're in bed, Hank and Polly, and so Hank is thinking. I guess she's like kind of restless, so she's just thinking about everything. So she feels like if Tegan has the baby, then that'll be a lot of weight off her shoulders, and she'll probably be able to walk and leave. I don't know what her plan is to do with Tegan after they have the baby, but she's thinking that Tegan is gonna be like way more able-bodied or once she has the baby, because it'll be like a lot of weight taken off of her, and her right leg technically still works. Like, she could, if her left leg was perfectly fine, then she would be like able to like limp or whatever. But since her left leg sucks and her right leg's like 50% health, she can't really do much. So she feels as though once the weight is taken off of her stomach and she weighs less and all that, that Polly would be able to. I mean, I don't know why I keep calling Tegan Polly. Polly thinks that Tegan will be able to move a little bit better with her right ankle. I don't know, whatever. So she's just thinking of a bunch of excuses. So this leads her to worry that Tegan might be leaving the basement right now, like as we speak, in the middle of the night. That's what she's thinking. She's thinking that Tegan's trying to escape. So now she's paranoid. She gets up, goes downstairs. She goes to Hank's toolbox, grabs a hammer, and goes to the basement. Her plan was to hit or bash, I guess, Tegan's ankle. So she figures once you have this baby, you'll be able to walk on your right ankle and, get away. So her plan was to bash in her ankle so that way she couldn't walk even after the pregnancy or after labor. But she felt like the ankle wouldn't have been smart because the hammer probably wouldn't have done much damage to the ankle. She's talking about the tibula and the fibula, whatever. She was like, it's hard to break those bones or something. So then she was like, maybe I should do the kneecap. The kneecap is easier to break. But while she was counting down to do that, I guess Tegan like started stirring in her sleep or something. But she didn't wake up. She was just moving around. And so in that moment, Polly felt like this girl is really young. She looks so young. Her face looks so young. She looks almost like a teenager. And she basically just had regret. She was like, I shouldn't do this. I'm crazy. I'm going to harm this woman in the same bed that my mother lay in. Like, she wouldn't approve of this. So she backed out of that plan. Didn't go through with it. Period. And that's pretty much where it ended. So she backed down on harming Tegan. I guess she gave up. She didn't do it. But she was still adamant on getting that baby. Just because she had that one little moment of weakness and, oh, I feel bad for her, she's still adamant on getting this baby. So that didn't stop that initial plan. She just felt like the kneecap thing was too far, but she still wants to get the baby. So, yeah. I finished part 3. Took me like, what, a week or 2. And since we're here, and I'm probably not going to see y'all until I finish this book, Spotify has, I think, pretty much all her books. I counted like 15 audiobooks of Freida in Spotify, and they also have like Stephen King and somebody else that I wanted to read. But they have a ton of books. So if you have Spotify Premium, or if you can read it or listen to it, then do that. I recommend it. And yeah, so summer's been cool. I'm getting better at volleyball. I'm so thankful and grateful for that. I'm getting better at volleyball, and I still have yet to make my summer list. I don't think I'm gonna make it at this point, even though summer officially starts today. But I don't think I'm gonna make it at this point. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all approximately, since I'm gonna read it right now, I'll probably see y'all by the end of this week or starting next week. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Bye bye.